What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. We're live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. How's everyone in the chat doing? Jay-Z Hexing, great to see you. One of Jack Levin is my tech hero. Good to hear you. Melf Tony, good morning, fellow Hexicans. Cypher, good to see you. Mr. Prophet, everyone. Pulse Whale, Moroccan, Pulsican, nice. Guys, we got Jack Levin Twitter Spaces right now. We're going to kick back and listen. They're doing, you know how everyone was worried about the bots and how some people could get, more opportunity than others via kind of their tech savviness. Well, Jack's kind of saying, you know what, maybe there was a little edge there. Why don't we just make it so you can put as much money into the gas fee structure as you want, and it'll distribute it how you'd like. And then so it's kind of botting it for the average person on the front end. And I'm pretty sure he's announcing that. That might be secret. I might have not supposed to have been able to say that, but who knows? So he's told me, he hit me up this morning, or we talked this morning, and he said this Twitter space, I might, announce something like that. And I said, all right, Jack, you win. Okay. I'll cover it because, guys, I like Zen crypto, and I like the deflationary nature of Ethereum right now. And I think it's interesting at the minimum. Price appreciation, I don't know about all that. That's a big factor, though. We'll talk about it all, guys. All right, crypto in the morning, 1 minute, 8 seconds, DeFi proof. We'll be right back.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Oh, shit. Spaces is live. Sam, how are you this morning?
Good morning, sir. How you doing? We haven't talked about Zen. Whoops, let me set this up real quick. We haven't talked about Zen in a while, and I was just looking at some of the numbers. There's nearly 5 million addresses on BSC. Now, I know a lot of those are bots and stuff.
Well, he says we're going to get 10x once the bot aggregator comes out.
I think that's an awesome move.
And they're on it, it's like boom, it's gonna be like, it's not like a whole GRC, you on Jack's payroll? No one is, because you could have as many tokens as him. But in the coin that's your favorite, rich people can buy all of it right away because it's all on the market and they can have the lion's share forever. Whoopsie, that was a little too truthy for this morning. We'll just keep it moving. But great to see you, Dixon. I love Dixon. Great shit, great guy. Met him in Vegas.
What's up to everybody in the chat too?
So what do you think, Sam? We see these coins going down. We see it. GRC's wrecked. He lost all his money on Zen. Because I couldn't stop clicking the gas fee button forever. Just kidding. I only did 8, and I only did it one day. And I'm super lazy with the clicks, guys. Like when it comes to clicking, I lose that race. Like if they're like, "You're gonna click all day," nope, not me.
I have to have so much interest in it to like pay attention. Otherwise, I'm
push-ups. Just let me do push-ups.
I'm just not going to pay attention, right? You're just not going to pay attention if it's not like
really 11 cents a click. It's like, oh yeah, fuck this. I want to go for a run.
So for anybody who's not familiar with Zen, right?
Yeah, sorry, we're idiots.
It's like one of the more fair ways of distributing tokens to people where you're just paying gas fees and getting them, but then you're like, well, somebody who knows what they're doing can create a bot and basically just amplify how much Zen they're getting. So there was like a little, and we understand that was taking place. So what?
And it was, the C rank had a factor, but it was becoming a little too not factored enough, if you know what I mean. Like it's a long-term projection when it comes to those algorithms, but at the same time, there can't be a glaring premium.
For the people who create the bots.
Right.
Yes.
So but that's Ethereum's gas fee structure is ridiculously high. High, bro. I won't spend. I will buy, send, sit. Don't
because the
move
gas
that
fees
shit,
are
bro.
yes.
Fuck that shit, bro.
The gas fees are super high, but this is a great move for Zen though, in the sense that like if there's people we know who know how to use bots, how to set up bots to utilize this so they can collect a lot of Zen. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't feel the urge to spend the time or resources to do that. But building this into the system, that's cool. Like this way, it kind of levels the playing field there because there's not many people who know how to do that.
Yeah, it levels the playing field.
Rocket ship question here from Unsuitable,
and we're about to pull it up. So, question: if a claim rank is already in progress, what wallet would that wallet be able to use Jack's multi-wallet system? No. So basically, every time you do a mint, it's going to be on a different wallet. Therefore, it's going to just separate wallets, most likely via how many. So it's going to be new wallets, new systems. But again, you might have new opportunities with layer 1 blockchains. So keep these things in the back pocket. Don't forget this crap just because a couple days goes by. I'm telling you guys, these things come out. Boom, GRC, we're on it. We're talking. You're like, damn, I haven't thought about this stuff in 2 months. I'm really behind. Is this safe? Is this? Don't be that guy. Guys, let's listen for a little bit. We're just going to
大家好，欢迎来到我们今晚举办的 AMA。然后我们这一次呢，特别感谢我们这次的举办方 XEN、雪崩、3AM 社区、星球日报和
Okay. So we'll check back on that in a minute, because we can't understand the native language. And you know, in crypto world, generally 90% of the people you interact with have some sort of English speaking. So I'm sure they'll kind of But again, Jax has he has another Twitter space after this that I'm probably going to cover after the show on a separate stream with the Polkadot guys.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And Gavin Newsom, we've never looked into Polkadot together, but I had some insight on it beforehand with the I can't even remember what they were called anymore. It was so much news about that stuff back in the day, all weird verbiage. I can't remember. But Polkadot was Polkadot was like it was huge. There was like layer 1 wars, and then it just fades away. Like you just never get
Polkadot similar to Polygon.
It's a layer 1, but it's like their name to fame is like the auctions that they do to like get tokens involved, and it's a different code. So that they basically what they do is it's not, guys, I could be so wrong about this. But it's not Solidity, but they create these bridges of different layer 1s, these mini layer 1s that have Solidity and their code connect, and then they have their native chain, and then they pick which branches come through some.
And we should do like a maybe multi-series part where we do like Polygon in one video, Polygon and Matic, and then Polkadot and these other ones, because I think they would be interesting to learn about. You'd probably think they were interesting.
People don't break it down like that, Sam. I'm telling you, not like a normal guy. Like they don't break it down like a normal dude would. They say yes, all the technicals, but like and yes, we need to look into that stuff. But for the average user, it's just like, don't go into those weeds when the verbiage just takes months and months and months to kind of understand. Leave that to us. Let's go back into this for a second, guys. Bullish is up in there.
Charles.
Waiting for a response. I love the way this language actually looks.
Charles 可以继续咯。
OK， 能听到我说话吗？因为推特的这个有点卡顿。
I
然
love
后
the way
今
this
天我们还
language
是主要
looks.
邀请到了 XEN 加密货币的一个创始人 Jackie 啊，希望他来跟我们讲一讲 XEN 的那个创始理念，以及他想要达成的是怎样的一个目标。除了 Jackie 以外呢，我们还邀请到了几个中文社区的比较牛的一个博主。
Frankly, I can't do that.
I love the way the language looks with those little characters. Like,
hey, real quick, we'll go back to that. We'll jump in, but the parachain auctions, that's what it was called. How did that all end up working out? I remember when that was like people were buying that because of the auctions and stuff, and then it just went, and then but I mean, I remember guys that were telling me to buy Polkadot at $46. a piece, and they said that's your HODL for life. That was like the HODL for life pack. I remember that advice. Like, for real, I remember. And I remember the guys. I don't bring it up. I don't get people about that stuff, but I remember. All right, let's hear it.
It says at the bottom, the founder of Jackie.
We got no audio.
Oh, it's muted.
It's
Zen
muted.
Crypto Jack Levin with us today to talk about the vision of Zen and what are his goals by founding Zen Crypto.
Perfect
And
timing.
also we have other guests joining us today. They're Tang, Jia, and Kelman. So Jack Levin, as everybody knows, is the founder of Zen Crypto and ex-Googler number 21. Tang is a crypto investor and also very interested and invested in Zen. And he is the translator of Zen's light paper. Jia is the head of China marketing of Avalanche Foundation. Kelman is a Web3 pioneer and co-founder of 3AM, a Chinese crypto community that has more than 100,000 members. Host Charles here is also co-founded with Kelman of the 3AM community. And also he is the co-founder of 181 community, also another Chinese crypto community that has more than 100,000 members. And Quincy myself is the director of business development of Crypto Cell Labs.
感谢 Crazy 的一个翻译介绍。然后我这边就想问一下Jackie， 我们知道你从事这个开源的这种工作已经长达有35年左右了，然后之后你是离开了谷歌之后，然后对自己进行了一个走上了一个创业之路。后来在2011年，你是应该有首次接触到了一个比特币，也持续了一个挖矿的工作，坚持了有3年左右。然后我们也是有了解到，你创建 XEN 的初心是让 XEN 的那个经济可能有模仿到一个比特币，但是呢又却不重蹈覆辙比特币的那个颠覆。
I can't, frankly, I'm a white boy from Baltimore. I'm just not, I can't relate to that kind of verbiage. And I'm not trying to be any bit disrespectful, but to be honest, I just want, there's a couple of things I think we should talk about, and he's going to have a couple. So let's give it 5 or 10 minutes and we'll keep an eye on the audio.
I was talking to a supplier in China this morning for my business, and he was saying that they are actually like still give a shit about COVID. Like, and I was like, oh, do people actually care about COVID over there? And he's like, well, the government's very strict. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm China's people's health. He just responded, I'm China people's health is first. I guess people are very indoctrinated over there and believing that, this is something that's, more than what it is.
Sam, why don't we just rock it onto a couple of things real quick? I'm going to look at one thing first, but I want you to talk. So the hex price has been moving positive for the last 2 days, which people get excited about, saying they got big bags of hex. So let's be honest, a 15% move is a 15% move. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Yep. There's real liquidity there. So if Sam had $1 million, that means he made $150,000 overnight if he sold that position with zero slippage, which it's probably minimal slippage, to be honest. So if you did it right, that's interesting when you're talking about an asset like this, Sam. I think Richard would be disappointed for me to pull up a price chart of a 15% move, but I understand why people get excited. It's a trend, right? And you see Hedron kind of people arbing that a little bit. I think by mistake. I think a whoopsie by them. If you're arbing onto the hex side right now, that's a whoopsie. That's a whoopsie.
That's super bullish though for Hedron.
It's
so bullish for Hedron because Hedron's like tied to hex. Even if it's just casually tied to hex in terms of the HSIs, in terms of the auctions, in terms of like Costa, right? So if hex goes up, then that means that there's even more room for Hedron to move, especially because we have the auctions coming up starting in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, right? I think it's the 13th or the 14th. So 2.5 weeks before these auctions start. hex goes up, then that ARB point for the HSIs and ICOSA is higher. The ARB point for the auctions is higher. The upside for Hedron
But
is
people are
higher.
getting confused, Sam. They're getting confused because some of these assets, I'm telling you, they get to their ARB points really quick, and they're used to that. But Hedron's a different story, I'm telling you, and you know this. And people are arbing it like that ratio's locked already. Bruh.
But that's an opportunity for us. Like, I'm gonna see if I can get some more Hedron this
Dude,
week.
54 cent hex puts Hedron at, I don't care, so much.
Yes.
So much. Too much. And then people make so many mistakes with Hedron. I see every mistake in the book with Hedron. It's a hard asset to get right, but it's not complex. But it's hard to keep your little hands to yourself sometimes. And Hedron gives you a lot of that liquid freedom, but I've been steady and I don't take more than 10% out. I'm keeping that shit. I don't care what anyone says. And you know, that's been like my whole cash stack for the bull market for just other projects that come. I'm telling you guys, people are arbing that. They're arbing Hedron down, and it's just
your
dangerous.
wallet to the smart contract. You specify them.
Pull this up.
Your mint needs to run, and then you collect your mintable or minted Zen coins at the end of the period. Now, this is very similar to mining, except I would say it's more of a virtual mining. So you can launch as many wallets as you want and mint as many coins without any limitation of the supply. The supply is really only limited by the adoption amplifiers, which is part of the adoption formulas that we have created. At the beginning, you could be making
I thought K for K
30 to
defiled those
60,000 Zen
formulas.
per day. However, in about 8 years, when the difficulty is all-time high, and there is difficulty in Zen, you will be minting between, I would say, 10 to 20 Zen crypto coins. And so the difficulty is linked to the time passing. There is exactly 3,000 days from the inception or launch of Zen until the end. So it's about 8 years and 3 months for the mint phase to be over. Bitcoin's length is much longer. Zen is a little bit shorter. And just to think about 8 years, in about 4 years, it's going to be 1/2 of the Zen that you can create for yourself. The other interesting thing, and it's part of the game mechanics and game theory,
Mandarin,
is that Zen
US dollar I have
amplifies the
Zen.
rewards based on the number of participants that come to Zen's network. So if you're minting by yourself, you're making a lot less Zen if you were to mint with your friends. So if you join the protocol, invite your friends, or just have experienced the protocol growth, the Zen amplification will actually increase.
Poor
So
plug.
unlike the scarcity model with many coins where there's a limited supply, Zen's supply or minting capacity increases with the total number of participants. And so the goals we're trying to solve with this cryptocurrency is that we want to have the lowest barrier to entry for regular people out there. Not many people realize that 95 to 96% of the world's population have never touched cryptocurrencies. It is our goal to bring Zen to the 95% of the rest of the population and bring those people into blockchain world and into crypto in a safe manner. So that is what I would say the number one objective is.
Okay, thank you. Let me try to explain and translate that in Chinese. Please give me a minute. So Jack 说非常感谢大家的邀请。
Guess we'll take that back down for a second there. Stephen, I need Hedron. She's explaining it in Chinese. I need Hedron to stay around current price for one more week so I can load up one more time. Hey, I'm also waiting for some money to clear too, Stephen. I will be buying more as well.
Hey, don't buy all at one time, though. You never know with the little downward pressure, guys. It can be 25%, but that can go a long way on the upside. I'm telling you, I can promise you, because I can already see people making mistakes. And let them, God, let them make whatever mistake they'd like. Gunther, if you want to throw a God candle in there, please, God, throw a God candle in there, because I will slurp that up. I don't, whatever. But you know what I mean, though, because when you really know an asset, Sam, red God candles only make you excited in your stomach. Like if I saw a red God candle on Hex, I would be like, oh my God, it's time. Like, and I'm just saying that, like, not that I don't DCA in slowly now, but a God candle, they happen. And I love red God candles, especially on assets that have product market fit.
Oh, this could be so interesting. Think about this, because what happens if Hex goes up? Then that means that Hedron's more valuable. And you're like, how does Sam think that fucking Hex going up causes Hedron to be more valuable? Well, what do you buy at the auctions? You buy Hex, right? You buy Hex. It's called an HSI, and it's a Hex stake. So you're buying Hex. So you can only buy that with Hedron. And if you're not paying attention to that, the number of HSIs that are sold to the ICOSA contract, i.e., the number of HSIs that are going to be coming to auction, continues to go up. So you're going to have these numbers continue to climb, and yet people are not paying attention. So Hex goes up. That means those HSIs go up, right? Which means that more Hedron is burnt to pay for them, right? So if $1,000 Hex stake at yesterday's price was $1,000, and now it's at $1,200 or $1,150 if it's been up 15%, right? Then that means that HSI will sell for a higher amount, which means more Hedron is burnt, which is a good
Oh,
thing.
Sam, you're getting a little you're getting into my kind of weeds. The future of arbitrage between Hex and Hedron is so filled with nectar. So much nectar. I can only imagine in a bull run, those ratios will go 200% the other way, and not a person will have a damn clue what the fuck's going on. And I'll just be like scooping and duping and sending 10% to the bank and just moving on, like, and that's.
I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I'm gonna pull.
But again, I do this with, you got to accumulate enough where you have safety nets. Like you have Hex stakes, you have Hedron stakes, you have ICOSA stakes. But that does not mean you have to empty the mother load into the staking pool. You just don't, but you can, and you still earn wild rates. And if you're a long-term holder and you just have all the cash in your life handled, staying in crypto and just not touching it is whale games. You want to stay in there and keep adding position, but there's just premiums to be made. And I'm just frankly sorry about mentioning them if that is not what people like. But I've studied Richard. I've studied Vitalik, not as much as Richard. And, they tell you straight up, this is how they got rich. They do it very slowly over many interviews, over many years. But if you listen to them closely talk about arbitrage and talk about, what do we call it? Kimchi arbitrage. I mean, that was the best. When I heard him say that, I'm like, man, I know those guys just do this for everything. And it's the same asset in the version of the Kimchi arbitrage, because they're doing it from Bitcoin in the United States or wherever to Bitcoin in a different country that has a different exchange at a different rate. And if you arbitrage that 1 or 2%, you can make $100,000 in a trade when you have as much money as Sam Bankman, whatever his name is, Mr. Nerdy Pants, that everyone would want to see dead. I'm still not on a want to see the guy dead thing. Like, I don't feel that.
I'm pulling this up.
Does anyone know about that a token about FTX? And
somebody mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, no, but I want to know if anyone in the chat has heard of any FTX token. It's like, so you could earn a percentage of their overall, whatever the verbiage is. It's so hard to keep up with all these different terms for yield. Nicholas
Reed, yo, you guys should geek on some DGen DeFi on FTM. Is that what it's called?
That's what it was called, bro. That's what the token that somebody was mentioning this morning was called, FTM. It was Sam Bankman-Fried, Sam, his token, but it's just like his derivative token. So like you get a portion of, I can't remember the verbiage because I get so confused. What's it called when you have a portion of a company? Like you just buy like a little stock in it.
Like equity?
Yeah, it's like you buy equity in his company basically, but it's just a cryptocurrency token. I heard someone mentioning that, but I don't know much about that realm. Let's pop this up for one more second, see if there's any English going on. bullish if you're there.
Unmute it.
Oh, my bad.
Oops. Try it again from your side. It's not unmuting from my side.
No, it's probably bullish.
Okay.
All right, it's fine.
Okay. I did have this. So when you take a look at this, let's just walk through this. This is the number of hacks needed for one T-share for 15 years, right? So this is a 15-year stake. That's 8,315 hacks is needed for one T-share, right? So what does that mean? That means that you get 1,000 hedron per day for 15 years. Or if you do the math on that, that would be 5.5 and 55,000 hedron, right? Right here. And when you go through and you take a look at what Hex's current price is, as a couple minutes ago, Hedron's prices a couple minutes ago, if you wanted to be able to not buy Hex at a discount, right, then the price would, that's with this, with no discount here, the price of Hedron would have to be 4 zeros and a 5, right? That's 13 X's from where we currently are now. So you can look at this.
And that feels about right.
13 X's, bro. If I get a 13X in my bag,
I'm moving to Thailand.
I've got a lot of fucking money to eat.
I'm just kidding. I know it's so hot in Thailand, dude. Every time I see someone move down there, I just imagine them sweating. I just imagine Sam sweating.
Thailand is awesome, though.
But you know it is sweaty though.
But it's I like the heat.
You like that stuff though. You guys are weird. Like they love being drenched in sweat, and if they're sweaty, that just I'm from like a cold area. Like my body's used to no sweat. But like the Vegas, if you've been to Vegas before in that area, no problem. No problem. Super mega hot, but no sweat. Like no sweat. But then I'm gonna go to Florida, and when the weather turns here, Sam, I'm getting a little place in Florida and around you, and I'm just gonna make it a bachelor pad / studio that you can just work at during the day if you want to, like if that's easier. I don't know what it's gonna exactly be like, but that's my goal. Like one of my goals is like when the weather turns, it's gonna be cold, freezing cold. I'm not.
What's the weather up there like now?
I have to put the sweatshirt on, but it gets cold like to the point where you can't even go outside. Like it's so cold that you're just like, nah, I can't do anything. So I want to avoid that. This for the first time, I'm going to try and avoid that and get on with getting on. And
once you do that once or twice, you won't want to be back in the cold.
Well, I got another renter upstairs, and I got a guy who wants my room.
Perfect.
So I'm like way over budget, like out of control on the house right now.
And then one of them get a little bit of a discount or something, and then they.
One of the guys is like, I give him all the best deals. He can move wherever he wants because he's been here the longest, and I know him really good.
And he can.
We're talking about bullshit now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, dude. Like I don't have to pay shit to do anything now. It's all overhead, like overhead.
Did I have that Nakamoto? Did I share that in here? We can go through and read that article too. It's on Nakamoto.
We got 28 minutes left. Holy shit, this is dope. I always feel like we have no time, and now today we have like a little bit of time. And sorry about the bullshit title, but and if bullish is there, when you're there, pull it up one more time and just see if they're going through a part where they're speaking a nice little bit. I would like to listen to it, but otherwise me and Sam will just chat about whatever he's pulling up.
Then I have this.
I hung out with friends last night, guys, which is a big deal for me. Like I have to try to do that. Sometimes it's hard, but I met up with some good friends. We watched football and we all drank alcohol, and it was fun. It was really fun because if you don't do it often, it's fun. But I seriously get zero hangover side effects. Like other than just like I don't feel my head never gets hurt. But it's probably because I drink 3 beers. Like I just think I'm drunk, but really everyone else had like 100.
Yeah.
Then I had like 3, and I'm like, whoa. So what are we pulling up here, Sam?
So this is
When's the last time you got drunk, Sam? For real?
I don't even know.
A decade?
It's been quite a long time.
Like really to the point where you're like, I gotta go to bed because I'm just like way drunk.
Probably within the last 5 years, probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
All right, guys. If you send Sam $500, he will get drunk as fuck and we'll react to funny videos. So someone send that guy.
We could do it. We could do it Friday night, and we'll have
We
like
should
a
do
drink.
it once like a quarter, where we
Well,
drink
yeah,
like 2 beers or something.
and we'll have a drink and do the show. While we're doing
But when
that.
you have 2 beers, it really makes you feel a lot if you don't do it a lot.
Correct.
You're like,
oh, this month. So sometimes my girlfriend and I will have some wine, right? But this month we didn't have any. We're like, okay, we're not gonna have anything to drink this month at all, any sort, not even like one glass. Because maybe like on the weekend we might have like a glass of wine or something. But that's like I have one glass of wine and I'm like good. And we haven't had any drinks all month. Normally we might have once or twice a month, but we haven't had any the entire month. And I'm actually kind of enjoying it. It's like not bad to go through and do this. But the Nakamoto coefficient, an accurate way to measure the decentralization level of a project. So I heard about this earlier today. In certain like quasi-government agencies or complete government agencies, there's different terms or formulas or models they'll use to measure how monopolistic companies are in an industry. This is what this reminds me of, but it looks at it from more of like our point of view, right? The more decentralized something is, in my opinion, the stronger that thing can be in the long run. Not necessarily having a driver behind it. Like when you have something centralized, you have somebody that can drive that shit forwards. So this is from CNBC. Let's go through and read through this. You want to read through this? Decentralization is.
I'll read it. My bad. I just have it muted. Decentralization is the cornerstone of blockchain technology. After 2008 financial crisis, which I'm just going to mention, I was a young man and my father was dealing with the brutes of that, and I remember, and it was serious for me and our family. I remember 2008 financial crisis. Pseudo-anonymous Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto decides to build an economic system that would work without central authorities, such as banks and governments. This is how Bitcoin came to be, a network where users can transact without any intermediaries, which is the main premise of decentralized blockchain technology. I guess that's their main premise. I guess it could be anyone's premise or whatever. However, as blockchains and cryptocurrencies have progressed, large investors have begun to build massive crypto stockpiles. Oh no, who would have thought? Moreover, giant mining companies have entered the fray, leaving little to no room for individual miners. The result, a concentration of power in the hands of a few, which is against the promise of decentralized blockchains. The promise, interesting. Therefore, measuring the level of decentralization within the project is essential before you put your trust and money behind a blockchain and its corresponding cryptocurrencies. This is where the Nakamoto coefficient can help. Tag along as we describe the measure of decentralization and how it works. What is the Nakamoto coefficient? Judging by the name, one might think that is a measure developed by Satoshi Nakamoto himself. However, this is not the case. The Nakamoto coefficient was created in 2017 by former Coinbase CTO Balaji. Blah, 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 blah. It measures decentralization within a project and ascertains the least number of nodes required to disrupt the blockchain network. A node is one of the computers that run blockchain softwares and help validate and store the complete history of transactions of the network. More nodes mean more decentralization. It also means that a bad actor would have to control a greater number of nodes to win the majority of the system and tamper with transactions. The importance of measuring decentralization. Decentralization, with all its inherent positive, it's not absolute. Blockchains can be decentralized and centralized to an extent. Yes, of course, they all are, except literally every single thing somebody has the most of at some point. So I mean, there's a degree, but you get people, and we've discussed that we all know lots about that in this chat, most likely. A blockchain like Bitcoin focuses more on decentralization at the cost of scalability. On the other hand, blockchains like Solana are a bit more centralized to ensure scalability. When you're trusting blockchains because of their decentralization and the inability of everyone to gain total control, you need to know how decentralization in a blockchain is, and there arises more measuring it. Of course, there was never a barometer to measure decentralization until the former Coinbase CTO developed the Nakamoto coefficient. How does the Nakamoto coefficient work? The Nakamoto coefficient ascertains the number of nodes that must be compromised to affect the blockchain and obstruct it from functioning correctly.
So this is like the weakest link kind of thing. Like, how many fuckers do I need to fuck with before I can really put an impact on the network?
Oh, you read.
A higher Nakamoto measure. By the way, Steven asked, is my mic connected? Yes, it is. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, it's just you're slapping keys.
Oh, okay. I'll
so
mute
they can
myself
hear
next time.
your mic has a lot of feedback when other things go on. So he's probably wondering if it's the mic, but I don't think it's the mic.
A higher Nakamoto measure indicates a more decentralized network. This means that the network has a larger number of nodes. Therefore, anyone looking to compromise the system would have it to affect at least 51% of these nodes to prevent the blockchain from functioning correctly. How is the Nakamoto coefficient calculated? To calculate the decentralization of a blockchain, this person derived a method that combined the Gini coefficient and the Lorenz curve, two things that I have no idea what they were talking about. These two socioeconomic measures are used to ascertain the inequality and non-uniformity within an economic population. This person's idea was to combine the Gini coefficient and the Lorenz curve and use the resulting method to study several subsystems of a blockchain to arrive at a number denoting decentralization. These subsystems includes nodes, miners, clients. What is a client in terms of blockchain, guys? What does that mean when they say client there? Exchanges, developers, and more. Decentralization in popular cryptocurrencies. The highest Nakamoto coefficient on any given day goes to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the most decentralized blockchain. I think we're already aware of that, especially when Ethereum specifically and purposely moves towards centralization, which has a score of 7,349, signaling immense decentralization. A distant second is Avalanche with 26. Look at the disparity here. So on Bitcoin, you need to mess with 7,300 nodes to F with the network. On Avalanche, you only need to mess with 26. Big difference. We have Solana at 19. Again, Solana, something that probably most people have heard about, even if you don't know anything about it. Solana, you only need to mess with 19. How old is this article? Let's check to see how old this thing is. This was published 2 months ago. So this is not that old. Damn. Bro, think about that. You only need to mess with 19 nodes on the Solana network.
Yeah, but again, it's like nobody. I think they're like the VC ones. That's why I always mention there's like two types of things. There's like VC propped things, but that doesn't mean they don't go up in price. But it's like there's things that are VC propped up and like people with money, and then there's things that are like attackable and like decentralized and don't have necessarily like a team with like millions of dollars like sitting there like with their reputations on the line, like trying to make moves. It's more so like, hey, like that's why are we moving towards that, or are we moving towards it's a hard decision, and being completely decentralized is flipping tricky.
It is. It's 100%.
It's tricky.
The other reason you might only need 19 nodes to take down on Solana is because Solana's already down all the time, so you don't need to take it down.
Yeah, well, it's just like a little break. We call it a break in the Solana world. Give the computers a rest, you know. For the environment, they should switch it into an environmental savior thing.
Or if they were just,
it could be like, hey, we take it off, and then the sun shines, and we get all these good energies, and they could switch. They could frame flop that.
If they started getting it so that they didn't go down for like long stretches of time instead of going down on
but Sam, people do not care. The price go up for hardcore. Like Solana Summer. I heard that for years, and it was true. and that coin went berserk. And it always does. It performs when other things perform. And all the intellectuals just stand back and they're like, God has no mercy. Because you know what I mean? Like, to a degree, it's just like we really can't. It's hard, man. It's hard. These things are sticky with VC money, and people that prop things up and have lots of money can just milk people, frankly, and do whatever they really want.
Yeah, they don't
think about it, Sam. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I know you wouldn't participate in such madness, but like, golly, people just really Celsius. If Celsius came out again, everyone put their Bitcoin in it.
Yep. More people would. I agree. More people.
They would. They would. Give it 2 years. They'd be all in Celsius again. No way it goes down. No way. No way. Unless there's a 97% dip in 1 minute.
I agree. No, there's
It's
going to be more.
crazy, though, you know.
There's going to be more. We have Solana at 19, which compromises on parts of its decentralization to bring up scalability. The score for Ethereum is quite tricky, as it is challenging to find the total validators in its extensive network. That's interesting. Too bad we couldn't actually get a number for.
All right, real quick, Sam. Just take a quick. I want to see if they're speaking any. If you could unmute that.
去等待它。那所以这两个
They're
ramen
killing
noodle
me.
time.
Just dump that, dude. I can't. I'm not going back to it. Well, I'll call Jack and get a summary on it. And if he says anything in Mandarin, he gets extra points. Gold stars for Jack. Jack's always looking for gold stars. He's trying to vampire attack the Hex community.
Sounds like you've been listening to some too many Twitter fucking feeds, bro.
Oh no, I don't go on Twitter, dude. Like, I just post my links and just move on.
I like what you mentioned though about not. I don't know if you've changed this up, but you had mentioned last week that you don't have what's called on your phone anymore. Do you still have Twitter on your phone, or did you re-download it?
I don't know. I enjoy my day.
Great.
I enjoy my day. I don't do Twitters for work until people friendly up and they get their money back, I guess.
Yeah, and not
having, everyone's just upset, bro. People are legit mad, like, and I don't want to F with people like that, like, because I'll come at people and say stupid shit, and it's not going to bother me, but really, it could bother them. And it's just like, why do I got to add negativity? When negativity's going on, just let me scooch for a little while. I'll go watch some football or whatever. Just study ARB.
Yeah,
whatever.
This is the last bit here. The Nakamoto coefficient gives us a way to measure decentralization. With it, we have a way to analyze the risks that come with blockchain. It is also a guide for blockchain developers. I think this is pretty pointless, the rest of this part. But I thought when I learned about this yesterday, I was like, oh, we should talk about this on the show because this is something else like the kimchi arbitrage or things like that you just don't know about until you have the context around it. Like, what is that, right? How and when you think about crypto, the words that people use in crypto to describe things, it's like trying to speak to a doctor in some type of specialty in a medical field. Like, you just have no effing clue what they're saying. That's like when somebody's in legacy and then they come into crypto space, they don't have any idea what this stuff was. I talked to two friends yesterday trying to help set them up their treasure on StreamYard here, and they're like completely effing clueless. And we forget how quickly we become experts, or how quickly we use like words that people in legacy are just don't have any idea what it is at all. You want to talk about the CMIT cast real quick?
So guys, we're getting to 1,000 followers on the CITM cast channel, and then we're switching the show over to that channel. But obviously the time frame is like a little bit whatever, because there's so, I mean, golly, if we could just not, you can't know what's going to come out tomorrow. Like, they just come out quick nowadays. There's new cryptos coming out every day. And it's hard to weed through all of them, but to keep the show organized, we're going to move the show over there. That's the goal. We're going to use it as like, we're going to try to do things properly. You have to do things properly. And me and Sam aren't the best at doing all of the little things properly, as far as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, like all these things that Bullish is helping us with. It's easier if it's a centralized entity rather than a bunch of us, although we're all just having a good time still. But we're going over to that channel. So we got 289 subscribers. We're going to go for 1,000 subscribers, and I'm going to be talking about that a lot until we get to 1,000, and we'll do the switchy poo-poo, but it's already over there. So go ahead over there, smash the like, do all the things, and hit the like over here as well. Don't be a dork. So smash that like.
We have a few minutes left. You want to learn about Phantom? Have you heard of Phantom? I've heard.
Hold on. I want to make sure there's nothing that because we only. I want to. You can go into that if you want.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I want to make sure. Is there anything in the chat, guys? In the chat, really quick. Can you help me catch a beat? What's going on? What are people looking at right now? Like, what's been the hot topic of the last 2 days? Is it generally this proof of stake change, Richard Hart, kind of like what's going on there? Or has the Pulse Dogecoin thing really blown up for a lot of you guys? Has the A6 thing worked out for a lot of you guys? What are you guys really focused on now? Are you guys looking at these HSI auctions? Are you excited about that?
The Polymaximus?
Polymaxi. I want to know in the chat, just in like 1 or 2 words, like what are you most excited about? And if you have 2 things, you can list 2 things. But I want to catch a beat on some of you guys because you guys watch the show. Some of you don't comment all the time, which is totally cool. But I want to know, like, it's hard to know sometimes exactly what everyone's trying to catch a vibe on because me and Sam really do look over a lot of stuff and we forget.
I'll start pulling some.
V3 possibly going live. Possibly.
So they're saying Poly. There's some people focusing on Poly. Also, Hex moving up. Sean, what's up, Sean? Good to see you.
Oh, that's cool. Hex on NASCAR 2024 video game. Excited about that. Hey, that's pretty cool. I like that. I think that's cool.
Pulse Bitcoin. There's several Pulse Bitcoin things in here. So what's up, BU and Crypto Jack? Hello. Airdrops. What cool airdrops are you seeing out there, King Meadow? What cool ones out there?
Yeah, go ahead. Icosa and Hex Bear. Great. I mean, let's be honest. That Icosa is just cooking.
Cult DAO. Bullish.
Tell you that. Cult DAO just announced they're launching a layer 1.
Oh my God! Get them. I need him on. Who knows him? Who? Get him on. I've had him on the show before. I know he's like an entity of the gods, but I want him back. And I can't remember his name. It was like Obsidian or like something crazy, like some dark name. I want him back on the show. Layer 1s do on average of 60x. Wow. If they have any adoption as far as the native. And I will be sniping bottoms on that if possible. And with low USD, guys. And seriously, don't over leverage into shit. Like, come on now. Don't be silly.
Let's maybe see if we can do something later this week on that. That's from
I'm on when that guy. Okay, let's a crypto mentalist spiritual awareness 101. Like your name, thank you. And PLSB to ASIC to PLSB. I was freaking excited and I bought the bottom on weight. What was the bottom on weight? I sold some weight at some point. Cult DAO here. Okay, well, we did a show on Cult DAO back in the day. Me and Sam had mixed opinions, frankly. I think they were both on the same spectrum though, like on the same side of like, I can be my own VC. I don't need someone else buying stuff. There's a lot of SEC kind of stuff but now we're talking layer 1, baby. And that just changes the dynamic 100,000%. Don't care what anyone says. But again, I still have to look into all this stuff. So, Sam, would you like to read this for a second? My mouth is literally...
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. Did you know that a community can become so passionate that it can push a simple meme coin built on the Ethereum blockchain as an ERC20 token to tens of billions in market cap? Neither did I until it happened. And yes, I do regret never owning any SHIB. An ERC20 token, built with no utility or purpose beyond an experiment in decentralization, has one unifying factor. Number go up, increase pleb wallet size. Did you know that a community can become so passionate that it can disagree and disregard its fellow supporters, and become disillusioned with their understanding of the vision they believed that they all supported? Neither did I until it happened. And yes, I do feel stupid in not having the foresight to see it. I quote, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times, as although we have had some community upheaval of late, we really are incredibly blessed to be in the position we are. Cult has never seen a bull market. In fact, the cryptoverse has only seen cult rise to prominence with an ETH price in the $2000s. Of course, there is a big difference between a 2,999 ETH price and reaching sub 1,000. But the point is that the wider BTC and ETH market has been down only in trend since Cult DAO's existence. This has the positives that it reduces the speculators in the market. However, it does breed resentment, or bad feelings, which can even subconsciously affect the best of us. The Cult Manifesto
All right,
is
hold
my
on one
greatest
second.
achievement.
Can we pause?
I knew when I wrote it.
First of all, beautiful that we're not reading right now. He's so elegantly reading. It was absolutely excellent technologies.
That's super.
But Sam, what do you think about that? They're like, okay, so we launched Cold DAO. We love the idea. We think it's amazing. We think it's the best, right? But it's launched on a blockchain that's always going down as far as since we've launched. How do you agree? Like, if you were, what do you see? Like, is the only answer for Colt to build a layer one? Is that a good answer? Is that an answer people should be having? Is that the wrong way to think about it? The right way to think about it? It's a lot to talk about here.
Well, they just had a 60% increase in their price chart all in the last hour or so. Like
wow,
a massive.
I missed the pump forever. I'm going. I'm no, I'm
But they did have a massive pump in, like, literally it's happening right now. As let me just let this load here quick. But they just had a giant pump in their price. I'll pull this. I'll just switch it out for a second here. Look at this, just straight up.
Just give me a second. Give me 1 minute here. Can we go to the 4 hour? Click on the 4 hour candle for me real quick. And then just zoom it out a little bit and then scrunch it. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so what? I'm going to go ahead and say one thing real quick before we continue here. I'm sure you're getting some sort of system state copy or some shit. Sam, we got to think about this real quick. Like, we could be getting a system state copy, or they're getting something where they're saying, okay, there's going to be some value here. But what do we know about value, Sam? There's $4 million in liquidity sitting in there. $4 million.
That's more than Hedron, by the way, guys.
That's more than Hex on like 3 of the major pairs. If you take out the like less negligible pairs, it's probably about the same. But what do we see? 5-0-8-5-7-3. Yeah. So guys, you have to pay attention, but you cannot go selling or buying this shit just because you see one candle. I'm telling you guys, that's how you get super nuked. You get super nuked when that happens, because there could be a dude just having a good couple beers this afternoon, and he just wants to blow off some steam and see what happens when he buys 20 grand on this chart 5 times in a row. Yep. I've done it on like really smaller scales, but like, you know what I mean? Just remember, somebody could be playing this news, could be the richest dude in the pile, just saying, yeah, they're going to play on this a little bit. But it is super interesting to note when you see something with such high liquidity move at all.
This is $4 million worth of liquidity. And if you look at the 15-minute, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 15-minute blocks. So for an hour, it's been trending up. And I'm definitely not saying you should FOMO, and this is how you get fucking wrecked by making foolish decisions.
I remember when Pulse Chain got announced, Hex went God to the moon. And everyone was like, people are going to buy it because you get your copy. And I was like, yeah, fuck, you know.
We need to learn more about this, because this could be a big opportunity.
Well, I'm going to be going on at 1, so guys, as far as like, I'm going to sit down for the next 35 minutes and just sit here and just play DJ and study boy. And then I'm going to go on to Dex Screener / be looking for any major crypto news while I'm doing that. But I'm going to look at Hex on all chains, because I bet you there's correlation. I bet you see upward movement on those other. I haven't looked. I really swear to God, I have not. But I'm going to go ahead and say there's probably green candles. Okay. And I don't know how big, how small. So, that's not the point. But you'll start to see that these things carry ratios, whether you like it or not. Because guys like me will cross-chain bridge it if the ratio gets too off. You know what I mean? And Richard told me all about that back in the day. And he was like, yeah, when you can cross-chain bridge stuff, it just arbs everything. And I was like, oh, great. And no one knows how to do this yet? Oh yeah, no one knows it. Oh, okay, cool. So you're like with the 10 guys that know how to cross-chain bridge any ETF or ETW or whatever value. And I'm not saying there's guys that don't do that all day long, all day strong, but I'm just talking like general percentage of the population. So especially Sam, the last note I'm going to say, when you're arbing with no fees, it gets a little bit disgusting. No fees, Sam, on the swaps.
Correct.
That's insanity, bro.
It's extremely cheap. It's awesome.
But like, dude, so it's negligible. Imagine negligible fees, but you can swap 1 million times.
Yep.
But before you had like hundreds of dollars of fees if you swap 3 times. That changes the dynamic of arbitrage a lot. But it also has a security factor that like when you put something into ETH, oh my God, you got to put a gun to my head to get it out of there because I don't want to eat that $30 fee. I don't care. I'm a cheap ass with the fees, bro. Now that I have options.
Yep, bro. That will change things drastically. How the fees are affecting things because you just can't arb certain things if the fees are too high. You can't
unless you're just like $1 million plus in that pool with no issue. Like like once you get to a certain number, like $10, $20, $30 fees is negligible, but there's just very little people in that situation. So we're talking about adoption, right, Sam? We're talking about users, we're talking about more people. We need more people. Dude, I can hardly move. I'm a pretty risk on dude. I don't give a shit. I don't move money in Ethereum. It's too expensive, and everything else pumps more that I have. So when one of those things pumps, I just like take a little out of that, nothing crazy, move on to the next thing. But again, I utilize the staking features on Icosa, on Hex. I did on Hedron for the first 30 days, but I don't have any in there anymore.
One of the this a little bit of a side note. One of the things that I noticed about the Cult DAO, right, is that all of their liquidity is in V2. They clearly don't know what they're doing to have the liquidity in V2. Like, why would you do that?
Hold on. So you're saying that Uniswap V3 doesn't have Cult?
No. Remember, they locked up and threw away access. They locked up the LP. Remember, that's what Cult did.
Oh, so it's like a perma lock.
Yeah, it's permanently locked. They don't have access to it.
But why I wonder why that's done on V2 versus V3.
Well, you can't change the range if you're going
to. But you could still do full range on V3.
I don't know why they picked one over the other, but
yeah.
Just as a reminder, they have theirs locked up.
Yeah, and who knows? There could be a little game. There could be a little game theory there that who knows? Yep. I'm sure if they put in a huge amount of money, there's some guys focusing on it, and maybe they saw some problems with some V3 legislation or whatever, like that. They just who knows? But again, V2 sucks. Yeah, I don't play with I will if I'm the first dude in the pool.
The Cult Manifesto is my greatest achievement. I knew when I wrote it that it was different. Absolutely not in the sense it was necessarily good, but in the sense that I was worried it would come across as the ramblings of a lunatic, before people even got to the tokenomics and token economy section. Cult was never about the money, so I decided to leave it as is, full of references to my inspirations, admissions of things I thought I would never tell, let alone write down, and truly reflecting my thoughts onto the pages. I reached out to you all and said, if you are as tired as I am tired, if you are as furious as I am furious, as scared as I am scared, then join me. You are not alone any longer. The many should not live in fear of their governments. It is the governments who should live in fear of the many. I just had no idea how many of you felt the same. This is why we talk about cult and tell people to read the Cult Manifesto. The truth of the matter is we all feel the same. We just don't realize it as everybody. We aren't shown protests on TV. On social media they are suppressed because if we realized how much we all had in common, we wouldn't be waiting for that push to get out there and fight. Our common ground is our passion. Our Achilles heel is how much we care. We all love cult, decentralization, and support the Cult Manifesto. Our disagreements are about everything in between. Our arguments are all due to wanting to further both cult as a protocol and token, as well as furthering decentralization. And for this reason I am so proud of you all. Democracy and decentralization are cornerstones of our new world, but bureaucracy can also lead to inefficiencies. So what if we could all further cult, individually, in however way we pleased without necessarily needing to answer to anybody? Soon, you can. We are building our very own ZK EVM blockchain powered by Cult. Our developers will be bridging their Cult across to the chain in order to add liquidity, and every single transaction, contract deployment, build, and TX will be done using and burning Cult. current ERC20 cult and POS20 RVLT will be able to be bridged across to our chain to power the network. Due to building on a ZK blockchain, our intention is, if feasible, to allow users to opt in or out of sending their contract interactions to a block explorer, meaning that it is up to you as the user whether you wish to be transparent or not. Not to
That's
get too
cool.
technical, but essentially this, in theory, is possible if the transaction is sent to a ZK node, as everything is batched
We can
together
stop
and then
that
sent
for
on
one
chain,
second.
which gives the TX max.
If you don't mind, Bullish.
That's cool.
Say your point real quick on that one because
I don't mind as long as you don't go on a 5-minute rant so we can finish.
Yeah,
this.
we're not. I swear to God, I won't do it.
Privacy. We just talked about Monero. They said that they're, if possible, having a toggle switch, a button where you don't have to broadcast your transaction to the block explorer. Privacy, cool. That's awesome. More features like that should be in other chains, in other layer ones. Privacy should be the default on Ethereum, not the thing that you have to opt into, right? It should be the default privacy. That's all I had to say on it, Bullish. You want to play?
Yeah, and again, if we're going to talk about all this stuff, we're going to get critical of them too. Like for all the other past work they've done, like I need to look at the revolt stuff. They were pushing a lot of different narratives at some point. So again, I want to see how a lot of that stuff did. But I am, when people talk about layer one blockchains, like even at a base minimum, I listen to all of it. And this is very interesting the way that they're going about this. Nonetheless, whether it'll work or not, I have no clue. But interesting for sure. Let's go. Sorry.
Not to get too technical, but essentially this, in theory, is possible if the transaction is sent to a ZK node, as everything is batched together and then sent on chain, which gives the TX max privacy. This feature should put the onus on the user to decide if they wish to interact with a protocol or a deployer who has built something privately versus building transparently. Again, we are building a blockchain, so we will refuse to 100% confirm the above, but the theory is there and it is our intention to have this feature. The reason and benefits for having this feature is that, like in the case of Tornado Cash, with our own blockchain, you can just choose to hide your interactions with any protocols you believe could become targets of future administrations or bodies. The most important problem our own blockchain solves for our community is that it frees us from reliance on each other. It may sound counterproductive, but most disagreements in cult are born of everybody's desire to protect the protocol. There is only one cult DAO, and so everything must be agreed democratically and in unison. As we have seen, this can lead to adverse effects where disagreements between individuals spiral into disagreements between groups, and quickly sides can form and cause damage when good people on both sides may have enough of one another. Families fight because they love each other. However, there is a reason that as children grow they move out of the family home. Our own blockchain is a pressure release valve. It allows the revolutionaries to be revolutionary, the liberals to be liberal, the conservatives to be conservative, Digens to be Digens, and even the fascists to be fascists. The point being that by existing and building on our own chain, no action is directly harming the protocol and token by not, for example, buying or selling certain proposals, or by spending the treasury on good causes, etc. With our own blockchain, we can support everybody. We do not need to worry about shouting out our investees in case followers rotate into them. We have never needed to, but now even more so. Don't need to worry about the returns on investment from proposals. With this chain, we can truly live up to the mantle of #WaryOcultDAO. Mr. O.
Well, that was beautiful, Mr. O. Did Mr. O come on our show? Was that him?
I don't think it was Mr. O. I forgot who it was.
It was somebody.
Maybe
like,
it was
it
Mr. O.
like
No,
the
you know
main
what?
guy.
You know what? I think it was Mr. O. Yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah, I remember. And sorry if I sound rude in any way, guys. There's a lot of stuff going. There's lots of Mr. O's, So, and he, to be fair, he doesn't dox himself. And for all you guys that are worried about doxing yourself, have you ever bought Bitcoin? Have you ever bought anything that you didn't know the guy? Yes, you have.
It's
so,
funny.
but you also don't have to. You don't have to buy anything. If you don't like that the guy's not there, then some people don't. Some people like that the guy's not there. That's the reason they're buying it. You know what I mean? And so just remember, like, some people have different thoughts, and some people have different jurisdictions in legislation and ideas. And the way that they're doing this is clearly some like DeFi play.
Yeah, and it's funny how that the article mentioned SHIB, because remember in the beginning there was the rumor that he's the founder of SHIB. So the fact that he even mentioned it there and the way he was mentioning it to, I think he kind of confirmed. Like I don't know, he kind of confirmed that article. It was like, "Yep, I did SHIB. I didn't expect SHIB to turn out this way."
Oh shit! Oh yeah, no, for real. Yeah, they said the guy who made Cult made SHIB. Or something, or something.
Right. And then early on in the article, I'll pull it up.
Oh, did he make SHIB, but he didn't buy it?
Well, the way he speaks about it, it's like he's intimately talking about his experience with SHIB. from a leadership standpoint.
Well, I think it's time that we wrap up.
No, for sure.
Just because, I'm going to be on at 1, and we can do any kind of show. If anyone else wants to join me, I'm going to be looking at Dex Screener, plus keeping my eye out for any news that's going on live. But I'm going to be looking at Hex. Hex is up. Hex's liquidity has doubled. Okay. It's moved only 10%, but the liquidity on the USDC pair is now $8.2 million. So somebody did a move. A big guy did a move. And that's what I want to show people. Like in Hex, you can really tell. You can really look at it. You can really see it real time. You can see when people make big moves, and then you can see the liquidity rise, and you can see the end stake function. And remember, Sam, one of the biggest end stakes came out. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some God whale action going on right now. And by God whale, I mean one of the biggest owners of Hex that's not the OA. And he comes to play when things get real low, Sam. And he makes decisions when he feels like it's ready. He ain't waiting for Richard. You know what I'm saying? He ain't waiting for nobody because, it doubled the liquidity pool in moments.
Yeah. And I no longer get excited when I see these charts because we've been seeing this for the past 3 months. There's a little spike and then it goes sideways, and a little spike, then it goes sideways. People take profits and a little spike goes sideways. And look, even before you see it, a little spike and then goes sideways.
Icosa goes little spike, stay spike. I love Icosa, man. $1.20 right now. Are you kidding me? That's what it was when I looked at it for a second.
Sam, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about Hedron personally. you guys are talking, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, no,
yeah,
but
I know you're
relate. They all relate.
I agree with
What
both
do you think?
though. I agree. Shit changes all the time, but if you want to play this game for more than and you have a job or other things, the three of us fucking sit in front of a computer all day. Don't do the things that we're talking about all the time, right? Because we sit at the computer, we have time to do this stuff. We talk about it for a living. But if you just DCA on a regular basis, you'll be good, period.
End of story. Yep. Don't over leverage yourself. Keep throwing money in these assets. The price appreciation will do the hard work for you, but you're wrecked selling hands that I cannot control. You have to add to your coin count. Don't make the coin count go away. That's not what we want. A 1,000 ETH buy in Hex. The real God whale is in action. Nice eye. I would have assumed something of those sorts, but again, I haven't looked at any of the numbers. So, price going up increases the liquidity. Yeah, it does, but it does, and that you'd be surprised about those numbers because the liquidity when Hex was 56 cents, and go to the liquidity when Hex was 56. Not right here. You don't have to do it right here. I'm talking to the guy in the chat. It was similar. The liquidity was similar then than it is now ish, which is weird, right? Sam, 50. How many times the price? 25 or 30x the price, whatever it is. But the liquidity similar. Paying attention to liquidity is everything. Because the price can play tricks on you. You see it with meme coins all the time. And what happens? A dude's let 100,000 people buy into this real quick. Let me make a quick milli. Bang. And that can happen over and over again until the market decides, hey, there's no more pressure here. So that's up to these guys, whoever these guys are. They can do whatever they want. They could sell that back right now. Boom. Boom. Just like that. So guys, remember, but we can know from trends that the God whale likes to come in and play when it's time to play. Not when it's time to do other stuff. But let's just keep an eye on everything. I'm going to be doing a DGen stream, 1 p.m. Eastern, Dex Screener DGen time. Not really, though. I'm just going to be looking at the ratios between Hex, Hedron, Icosa, and then the multiple chains, along with some other things that people mentioned in the chat and whatever anyone else wants me to talk about. And
ZK Sync, if no one's familiar with it, ZK roll up, all the stuff that's coming out. So, you can pretty much take a few steps and get a free airdrop. So, that's going on. Today's the last day.
Bullish. I don't know. You weren't here yesterday, but we went through an article. ZK Sync. It's a roll up, right? As we just mentioned. They are going to, they have a deal with Uniswap. They're going to be actually having Uniswap V3 over there, right? That's interesting. Also given because you weren't here yesterday, but you were also talking about the same shit. So it's clearly out
so,
there.
Yeah, so yesterday, all day yesterday, people were hitting me up. So, they're getting ready for this launch to happen. So yeah, it's like pretty simple. I think I spent total, like, not even exaggerating, like $25 to like complete all the steps, and now I qualify for the airdrop. So I'm gonna get a free airdrop. The last airdrop I did that I claimed was Aptos. Claimed that a few days ago. Free $1,200. Taking a few steps. Probably spent like $10, $15. Taking the steps, doing that as well. So yeah, like this month is the month of airdrops. There's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, look into that. Let me drop the link real quick.
Please. Really, that'll be interesting. And then you want to take us out of here with some DeFi proof?
Yeah, some DeFi proof, guys. Make sure you hit the like and hit the subscribe button and you're enjoying this. Guys, it's the bear market, and we're not going anywhere. We're not worried about the viewers. We're not worried about stuff. There's profit to be made. There's positions to get ready for. This is the best time to be in crypto, period. End of story. Pennies on the dollar. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, guys. I'll be back at 1 showing you guys some of these things. Make sure you counter trade me because I'm going in. I'm going to be all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to look at shit. I'm probably going to use the bathroom and take a shower. Be back at 1 p.m., guys. DeFi Proof, the official rapper of Crypto in the Morning. Everyone, go to the CITM channel and hit the like and subscribe over there. I need 1,000 over there, guys. Let's go. Crypto in the Morning.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking no blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim ready to send me to show you the way.